Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Ahmed, and I have been a resident of Fort McMurray for 27 years and a Draper resident for 6 years. I live at 7613 Draper Road, and I'm a direct neighbor to the River Edge site. I'm in opposition to Bylaw 25-012. My concerns with the bylaw are as follows. Like many of the residents of Draper, I live in Draper for the quiet residential living. If approved, this development would significantly alter and destroy the current established nature of Draper and introduces significant levels of noise and is not in alignment with the MDB, LUB, or area structure plan. One of the comments I heard was that the noise was going to be mitigated by planting trees, and from where I am at my house, I can't see those trees. I'd imagine if they are planted, they're saplings, and that are going to take many, many years to grow to a level where they would actually do anything to mitigate the levels of noise, if effective at all. Another concern that a lot of the other residents talked about is road safety, so I won't touch on that one. I also think this type of development would increase the safety risk to the residents of Draper and anyone using the facility. During an emergency evacuation scenario, it would create a substantial level of congestion potentially on the road. And one of the things that was talked about earlier was that you can see a flood coming. I was in Draper during the flood that occurred in 2020, and we did not have time to evacuate, and we're actually stranded in Draper for the duration of the flood. Another concern is the lack of infrastructure in Draper. So currently, as you all know, water, sewage, propane, and all of those utilities are being trucked into the community. So if we're looking at a development that's going to potentially double the occupancy in Draper, it will lead to increased costs for that infrastructure and could potentially lead to delays of getting those type of services to the residents of Draper. This development violates the mandate for responsible development. Again, as council here has spent a lot of substantial taxpayer dollars to mitigate the flood, this would allow for a development to happen within a flood zone. Another thing that was touched on was around some of the infractions that happened that are currently even occurring on the property. As a direct neighbor, and I think Councillor McCarth has asked a question, hill stability, and was talking about some of those issues. As someone who is on the hillside right beside this property, the hill beside me that's owned by the River Edge owners was clear cut. Nothing was planted on it. I had contacted the municipal planning department asking for a geotechnical study, and it sounds like there's actually not a permit for any of that clearing that had happened, and a geotechnical study may or may not have happened. But one thing is clear is that there isn't a permit for the road that's in place or the clear cutting and the digging up of material from the hillside to build the road up so that they can access the property. And then lastly, this bylaw would eliminate my right as a resident and a neighbor to appeal any development on the lot. My ask from council today is to reject this bylaw and not approve it as it stands.